Hey friends, I'm Fran and I'm a flight attendant for an ultra-low-cost carrier here in America. And on this video, I will let you in on how much American flight attendants actually make. Woo! Just a disclaimer, pay scales do vary from airline to airline, and I will mostly be talking of my own. Carrier contracts do follow a similar structure, so whether you're looking to join me in my airline or any of the other airlines here in America, I will be giving you an idea of how your financial situation will be if you were to join our Sky High family tree. Now, this number might make you want to jump over to the airline websites and apply for this career, but stick through the end of this video because there's a whole lot of other things going on and being taken into consideration when we calculate our pay. Before I start with the complications, I do have to define some terms for you to better understand what I'm talking about and how we calculate our pay. Some of these terms I may have already mentioned in some of my previous videos, but again, keep in mind that this breakdown is mostly based on my company's contract and it may be different for other carriers. First off, reserve. Being a reserve flight attendant means that you are an on-call flight attendant. Airlines need reserves to cover for late sick calls, no-shows, crew timeouts, delays, and other unforeseeable circumstances. Usually for your first few months or years on starting your career with the aviation industry, as a flight attendant, you will most likely be a reserve flight attendant. You know how other jobs publish their schedules weekly or bi-weekly? For most airlines, we publish our schedules monthly. And as a reserve flight attendant, you will have a month's worth of schedule of your on-call days. For my airline, you had 11 to 12 days off scattered throughout the month that you can actually bid for. And almost every flight attendant has been on reserve when they started their career in aviation. But as your seniority goes up in your base, you can actually level up and eventually earn a line, which leads me to my next term, a line holder. So a line holder is basically a flight attendant who has a line of trips in their month schedule, meaning that you know when and where you're going to work for the entire month. After paying your dues as an on-call flight attendant, and as you get senior in your base, you're able to level up to live the better life as a line holder. As a line holder, depending on your company's contract, you can fly as much as 160 hours a month, work your butt off, or even fly as low as 50 hours, or for even some, you can actually drop down to 0 hours, not flying at all, but you're still considered employed full-time. Take note though that the hours we're talking about here is the total amount of flight hours in a month. It doesn't include the time you report to work, the time you wait for your flight to depart and taxi off the runway, and it doesn't also include the delays that we have when the main cabin door is open, and even the time you tidy up the plane when the passengers have already left. Next off, hourly pay. So I do have to redefine this. I mean, you already know what an hourly pay is, but there is a huge difference between the hourly pay of 9-to-5 jobs and for flight attendants and pilots. As I have quite hinted earlier, the hourly rate that flight attendants have only applies to the number of flight hours that you fly in a whole month. It doesn't include the time you spend during boarding and deplaning, even if we're still technically working. We only get paid when the main cabin door is closed. So it is possible for us to be on duty for about 11 hours and only get paid for 6 hours. Next off, we got per diem. So per diem is the additional pay that you receive on top of your hourly pay and is counted by the number of hours that you are away for work from your base. For my company, our per diem is about $2 an hour. Now, if I'm working a one-day trip, meaning I don't have layover in any other city, than my base, my per diem is taxable. But say I have a 4-day trip and I'm away from base for about 72 hours, that will be paid per diem as well, but it is non-taxable. So listen, I gotta get me those trips with layovers so I can collect my coins. Next off, I do have overtime pay. So this is something specific to my airline. Not all airlines do have this. All hours flown over 82 hours in my company will be paid as time and a half. So if I do, say, fly about 100 hours a month, I will actually get paid for 109 hours. So the pay gets better and better the more hours you fly. Lastly, on my terms list, I do have holiday pay. Again, this is something that not all airlines actually have. It's specific to my airline, and for us, it is usually paid at time and a half. But if you already exceed the 82 hours, you will actually get paid double time for your holiday pay. So you'll see me flying during Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'll be up there in the skies during the holidays. Now that we've got those out of the way, listen. When you start your career as a flight attendant, you will be broke. No, I'm not kidding. You will be broke. This is because of the first term I have mentioned earlier, which is being on reserve. You will most likely start your career as a reserve flight attendant. And okay, it might not be as bad as it make it sound like, but being on reserve doesn't mean that you only get paid when you get called to work, because what if you don't get called at all in a month? So you're not getting any money? Nah. As for my airline, we do have this 75-hour guarantee for reserve flight attendants every month. So whether you fly or not, you're getting paid 75 hours. Now with us, you are also allowed to pick up trips on your days off, which will be paid on top of your 75 hours, even if you don't fly all the 75 hours in a month. So for example, if you have a chunk of days off and say you try and pick up an 18-hour 3-day, you will have a total of 93 hours, and you will also be paid for 98.5 hours because of the overtime pay. Even if you don't fly the 75 hours at all, but you worked on your day off, that's going to be on top of your guarantee. But if you want to keep your days off, live your normal life on your days off, you can even bid for longer trips when you have your reserve days. So you can have per diem, which will be paid on top of your guaranteed 75 hours. Now, the jump from being a reserve flight attendant to a line holder is life-changing. Listen, when that happened to me, ooh. So it's not only for the difference in the quality of life, but also the huge pay difference. Because yes, having a line of 75 hours, you will most likely work all of the 75 hours compared to being on reserve. But it also gets you paid per diem, depending on how much hours you work away from base. So being a line holder, you do have the flexibility to swap out your low hour trips into high hour ones. You can even drop them or pick up as much trips as you could legally insert into your schedule. Again, all these trips are paid on top of your per diem. Lastly, do take note that all airlines have annual raises, and contracts do change and get negotiated every few years or so. Hence, the sooner you start, the better, and the longer you stay, even better. So, if you were to be employed by my airline right now, your hourly rate will be Since you have come this far on this video, I assume that you are very interested in being a flight attendant or in the aviation industry. So I hope this video has helped you and has been educational for you regarding the flight attendant salary. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button down there. And if you want to see more of my videos, don't forget to click the subscribe button as well. If you're still looking to follow your dream career after this whole pandemic is all over, make sure you have enough savings to start your life as a reserve flight attendant. I know it's gonna be rough. It's been rough for everyone, but I can assure you that it is very rewarding to reach your dream career up in the skies. I have also included a link of a website that has more information, and they do have a salary comparison for most US Airlines in the description box below. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them in the comment box as well. So I do hope to see you join our Sky High family soon. But until then, I'll see you back in the skies when Fren flies. Bye!